Pedantic. Adjective. Focused too much on small rules or details. His feedback sounded pedantic when he corrected every comma, until he explained that tiny ambiguities had caused expensive mistakes in past contracts. Jocular. Adjective. Fond of joking, playful in manner. His jocular tone softened the critique, though the notes on the page stayed blunt in red ink. Wanton. Adjective. Reckless and without moral restraint, often causing needless harm. The storm did wanton damage, ripping shingles off roofs that had stood for decades. Intentional. Adjective. Done on purpose with clear thought behind it. Every object in the small apartment felt intentional, from the single blue vase to the chair angled perfectly for the late afternoon light. Prominent. Adjective. Easy to notice or important in a situation. A prominent scar on the old table reminded her of the first clumsy move into the apartment when friends laughed, lifted together, and made the place feel like home. Ambivalent. Adjective. Having mixed feelings about something. She felt ambivalent about moving, excited by the new job but uneasy about leaving the neighborhood where she had built a steady routine. Allusion. Noun. An indirect reference to something readers are expected to recognize. The novel's allusion to an older flood story sharpened the scene on the levee. Endorse. Verb. To publicly support or approve something. The committee agreed to endorse the initiative only after safeguards were added, because they did not want to appear careless about privacy. Fortify. Verb. To strengthen something against problems or attack. To fortify the plan, they added a backup vendor and a clear escalation process for nights when shipments ran late. Facetious. Adjective. Joking during a serious moment, often inappropriately. His facetious line at the service drew stares, and he stared at his shoes for the rest of the hour. Retrograde. Adjective. Moving backward or worsening instead of improving. The policy felt retrograde after years of slow progress on parental leave. Misgivings. Noun. Doubts or uneasy feelings about a plan or decision. She had misgivings about signing the lease, and she kept rereading the quiet clauses while rain traced slow lines down the office window. Persevere. Verb. To continue despite difficulty or delay. She chose to persevere through the slow certification process, studying after work and reminding herself why the credential mattered. Daunt. Verb. To make someone feel intimidated or less confident. The steep switchbacks did not daunt her, and she kept climbing with steady breaths until the lookout opened like a window over the valley. Adversity. Noun. Hardship that tests endurance. Snowbound for days, they met adversity with rationed wood, shared songs and maps drawn on the cabin wall. Adamant. Adjective. Unwilling to change an opinion or decision. She was adamant about leaving before the storm, packing the last box as thunder gathered beyond the hills and the porch light flickered. Contiguous. Adjective. Sharing a border, next to and touching. The two lots were contiguous, so one straight fence ran between the gardens. Simulacrum. Noun. A copy or likeness that stands in for something real. The theme park offered a simulacrum of the old square, clean bricks and piped birdsong. Intrepid. Adjective. brave and determined in the face of difficulty. An intrepid reporter walked into the flooded district notebook wrapped in plastic and listened to residents describe what the water took and what it spared. Abate. Verb. To become less strong or intense. When the wind began to abate, the sea's surface smoothed, and fishermen stepped back onto the pier with cautious relief and damp collars. Somber. Adjective. Dark or serious in mood. The coastal light turned somber before the squall, sea and sky the same iron gray, gulls wheeling in silence. Enigma. Noun. Someone or something that is difficult to understand or explain. The old house remained an enigma, its locked attic humming on windy nights. Baleful. Adjective. Threatening harm or evil in a menacing way. The owl turned a baleful stare on the flashlight beam, then glided off without a sound. Devise. Verb. To think up a plan or method. They devised a simple rope pulley to lift the canoe onto the rack. Eloquent. Adjective. Expressing ideas clearly and persuasively. His eloquent toast balanced humor and gratitude, and even the quiet relatives at the far end of the table leaned in to listen. Vivid. Adjective. Strong and clear in the mind, as if seen in bright color. His description was vivid, painting the storm's green sky and the smell of wet asphalt so sharply that listeners leaned forward as if they were there. Erstwhile. Adjective. Former, belonging to an earlier time. Her erstwhile roommate sent a postcard from Lisbon, the handwriting still familiar after years. Hasty. Adjective. Too fast, not thought through. A hasty turn on black ice sent the car into the snowbank. Intransigent. Adjective. Unwilling to change your view or agree. The vendor was intransigent about the deadline, so the team rearranged their weekend, working late with takeout boxes stacked by the printer. Dearth. Noun. Too little of something, scarcity. After the wet winter, there was a dearth of dry firewood, so they burned the stove sparingly. Enthrall. Verb. To capture and hold someone's attention completely. The storyteller enthralled the children, even the ones who usually chased sticks in the aisle. Pejorative. Adjective. Expressing disapproval or criticism. Calling the plan pejorative names did not change its numbers, and the mayor asked critics to attack the assumptions instead of the staff who ran the models. Panache. Noun. Stylish confidence that shows in how someone acts or dresses. She wore the thrift store coat with such panache that strangers asked where she bought it. Halcyon. Adjective. Calm, happy, and peaceful, often looking back at an earlier time. They remembered a halcyon summer before the mill closed and the river ran quieter. Subtle. Adjective. Not obvious and requiring attention to notice. The message carried a subtle warning, delivered with polite language that still left no doubt about the consequences. Lithe. Adjective. Moving with easy grace and flexibility. The lithe cat slipped between flower pots on the wall, tail raised high as evening light thinned over the garden path. That's everything for this session. If this helped you, subscribe for more. See you next time.